Hello guys, welcome to another video. Today we are working on a Ford Figo Duratec 1.4 petrol engine. Current kilometers, as you can see, it's 342,000, just over that. And what we're doing here today is removing the timing belt. First thing to do, it is to remove the air filter housing. It is held together by two number 10 bolts, and you remove that intake pipe, and then you simply wiggle the air filter housing out, held by those rubbers. As soon as you can get that out, you remove that pipe. Normally it's held by a clamp, so this vehicle doesn't have a clamp. I'm not sure what happened to the clamp, but yeah, we have to make a plan when we're putting it back. So you see there, I'm just investigating and seeing what's hanging there. The next thing to do, it will be to remove the breather hose. So this one is slightly modified. Normally it's a clip-on breather hose, and then you can remove basically move your expansion bottle to one side. To do that, you have to also dismount the power steering reservoir, and then you can move the pipes to the side, move the coolant bottle to the side. That creates a little bit of space when you're working, because the timing belt covers that you have to remove to access the timing belt are on the driver's side of the vehicle. This is the right hand side of the vehicle, since this is a right hand drive. And then the next thing to do, basically you remove the bracket that holds the power steering reservoir. This is the top of the engine. This is what it looks like. So basically the next thing to do, you remove your HT leads, and then the next step, it would be to remove, there's also a sensor there. So you're gonna remove the brackets. That's a number 10 that's holding your oxygen sensor. You're gonna remove that plastic piece. You use a 15 spanner for that. See, there's a 15 spanner, anti-clockwise to make that loose. Remove that. Then we're gonna jump to the timing cover. Timing cover bolts are number 8 bolts. So there's a few of those around the timing cover. Just make sure you get all of them disconnected. And then the next step, it is to remove the tappet cover. So got all the bolts loose on the tappet cover. You can see there as we are removing the tappet cover. So we got the tappet cover out. Make sure there's nothing holding on the tappet cover, and there's nothing around it can break while you're removing that tappet cover. So the next thing here, it is to remove your crank sensor. So we don't have a tool to lock the crank on this vehicle, so I'll show you a small trick on how to lock the crank. You simply remove that. The crank sensor is held by, it should be a number 10 bolt, but in this vehicle it's a number 8. You remove your number 1 spark plug. I will tell you, you will see later as well why are we removing the number 1 spark plug. So the number 1 spark plug is the one closest to your crank pulley, front of the engine. We've got a screwdriver there. We're gonna bring the engine closer to TDC. So TDC is top dead center, meaning that your piston is all the way up. So as I'm doing that with my other hand, I'm actually turning the crank, that you can't see, but I've got my hand on the screwdriver as well to feel if the screwdriver is going any more higher. When it's at its highest, you will see the crank will feel a little bit loose, like a little bit free. That's how you know you're on TDC and the screwdriver is not going any higher. We remove the engine mounting. Those are held by a number 15 bolts. So, and the next thing to do is to check up the engine. So before you remove the mounting, make sure that your engine is supported. You check up the engine, remove the mounting, bring it a little bit higher, remove your alternator. That's held by number 15 sockets. Got that out. And then you have a little bit more clearance. You use your 3-inch drive short extension. This you put where you remove your crank sensor. With your other hand, or if you have somebody to help, you turn the crank anti-clockwise. This will lock this will lock the flywheel. So what you're putting there is gonna lock the flywheel. You see we got a little bit of an oil leak, so we're gonna sort this out. So once you got the 3/8 socket in, then you loosen the crank bolts. See, crank bolt is out, crank pulley is out, and then then we're gonna start removing the rest of the stuff. See, timing cover is off. We've got access to our timing belt. Luckily we caught this timing belt in time before it broke, because if it breaks, that means catastrophic failure on your engine, possibly new engine. So this is the next day. We have gotten some supplies on what we need: engine cleaner, we've got rags, we've got brake cleaner to sort out the clean oil leak. Once we've sorted the oil leak, we've got our brush as well. This is to clean. And then we've got some Victorines sealer, silicone, and then we have, okay, this is for something else, our metal cleaner polish. We've got an oil filter from Ford, original oil filter. So we have now full access to the engine. See, we've cleaned the engine now. We've cleaned those residue of the oil leaks. So the oil leak was coming from the tappet cover gasket, leaking all the way down. See the old tensioner, how loose it is. So this was very much due for a change. This is our timing belt from Ford. As you can see, if you want to see the part number, you can simply pause the video. We also got an OEM tensioner as well. So this belt can easily do over 100,000 kilometers. So this is why when you're doing your timing belt or timing chains, it is best to opt for OEM, unless if you know something that can last longer. So this is the timing belt. If you want to see the size, you can pause the video. You will see the size, you'll see the part numbers of your timing belts for Ford Figo. And then we've got the timing belts on. I've got this plate for my timing. This is how I set timing. Piston number 1 at TDC, and then my plate should be able to slide through your camshafts. So you do get a tool for this vehicle, of which I don't have. So I have got this fabricated to help me be able to make sure that this engine is in time. Right, so we've got this crank pulley back. We rotate the engine a couple of times just to make sure it doesn't knock anywhere, it doesn't lock, and our timing marks go back to the marked lines. Crank at TDC, and then our cams also, the lobes facing, and I can slide the plates. And then basically the procedure to put back, you simply it's a reverse procedure. While I've got this vehicle open like this, I clean the throttle body, make sure it's clean, ready for startup. This is the OEM accessory belt as well. It's a kit. You get accessory drive belt for your alternator, and then you get another small belt for your power steering. So these are your, I will show you now the part numbers. These are the part numbers, and then you will see the size as well, 5 pk. And then if you want to see the sizes, just pause the video. And then this is the other belts as well. This is the part number, and then you can see the size. So this is your alternator belt. So and then now we're basically putting everything back, and then this is gonna be just before we start the vehicle. These are the bolts. Make sure you put the bolts in the right places, correct places. If you put the wrong bolts at the wrong place, you might just cause more problems. So just be mindful of where you remove the bolt, so you can put this bolt back to the correct place. Now we're filling the oil. This vehicle takes 4.3 liters of synthetic oil. We got 5W30 synthetic oil that we bought from Ford. Now we're gonna start the vehicle. Put it on a couple of times, make sure we got fuel to the front, and then crank the engine. So you can see how it's vibrating. That's the engine mount, as you saw in the vehicle. The engine mount is damaged, so the vehicle is vibrating. We're gonna need a radio code, of which we already have for this vehicle. Before you need to, if you don't have your code, you should go to Ford. They will give you a radio code. You just need to register serial number. This is the engine running nice and smooth. Now we're gonna test drive. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Bye.